All right. What's going on, you guys? It is Fu Summer here. I am working on some pants, crocheting, so don't mind me. I decided to just turn the camera on because I was just having some thoughts about fear. I was literally just like thinking about it because it's really like an interesting. Well, I'll take you along like in my thought process. Okay, so again, Apollo is in the picture. He is talking, so don't mind him. He'll eventually settle down, or he won't. It doesn't matter. He always does this. I'm kind of used to it now. But anyways, I was thinking about fear in like a sense, like, well, at first I was thinking about how like evolution, like when we evolved and all that, like fear was really useful because it kept us safe and it kept us aware and alert of things that are happening. But I didn't really want to talk about fear in like the primal sense. I wanted to talk about it in the emotional sense. I've experienced a lot of fear surrounding like other people, and not in like the way that I think I thought I did. So what I mean by that is I had a big fear, and this is still something obviously that I'm working on, and I think I'll always work on it because habits die hard. But being able to open up to someone was pretty scary, and I was pretty fearful of that. Really, I was fearful of it because when you allow yourself to know somebody on such a deep level, it allows them to hurt you. And I think it's kind of like some sort of trauma response, because it's like, I don't want to get hurt, so I'm just not going to open up. And I don't think that that really serves anybody, because if you don't open up to someone, then you don't get the chance to experience like all of the nuances of having a relationship with them, because they don't actually know you. And if you're not proud of who you are authentically, I think it's even harder to open up to people, because then I would be worried, like, oh, they're gonna find out that I'm actually like kind of weird, or oh, they're gonna find out that I like to do X, Y, and Z, or whatever insecurity you have. Like, I feel like if you don't present that in like a way, and you try to hide it, then that creates another layer of anxiety, another layer of fear, because it's like, let me not get found out. And I think that's like really important to recognize when we're doing that, because we have to be self-aware, and we have to be able to know ourselves, and to be able to say, hey, like, I'm not presenting myself in the best way. Like, this isn't really who I am, like, and if I crave intimacy, if I crave a deeper relationship, then I have to be able to allow that person to see who I really am, and just like be proud of it. Like, don't be scared that they're gonna judge you, because if they do and they don't like it, then they weren't gonna stick around long term anyways. Sometimes I think, like, personally, I tried so hard to make things work, and this is within any relationship, like a friendship or whatever. I tried so hard to make it work until I realized that other person wasn't. And I was never scared of being myself. I was more so just scared of letting people see who I was, because I treasured like myself and my like intimate and private life so highly. So it's hard for me to just open up and let people see that. So for me, that's kind of where I struggled, and it was really scary to just be like, well, this is it. Let me open the book, let me show you, And I battled a lot with just allowing people to know stuff about me. Like, like it would get to the point where I know everything about them, they know nothing about me. And I'm like, well, or they think they do. And it's like, you don't even know who I am. And I had to like realize I was doing that and actively start making changes, because that's like the other thing. I had to actively start like catching myself in those thought patterns and being like, hey, now come on, share what you would actually do, you know, like share how you think about this, like in a real way, like not in a way that works for the people you're hanging out with. Because I also have experience kind of being a chameleon a little bit, where it didn't matter who I was hanging out with, I could fit in. And I don't think there's anything wrong with fitting in, but I also see a lot of value in being your like normal, authentic self, because I value that in a lot of people that I know. I like when they are just themselves, and I hang out with them more because they're just themselves, you know? So for me, like knowing that about other people, knowing that about my friends, I tried to really embody that. So that really helped me kind of shake loose of that fear of opening up and being vulnerable, just because I'm like, well, I really like when the people in my life who I love do that, so other people will love that from me too. The feeling's mutual, you know. So that was something that I think really, it's just been something that's been on my mind. You know, fear is like a really big indicator, I think, of something that you got to do, like especially when it comes to like relationships. Like if you're scared to tell somebody, like for example, you're scared to tell somebody like how you feel, like if you like them or whatever, and it's so scary and your heart beats fast and you feel like you're gonna throw up, but guaranteed if you tell them, oh, you feel so much better. It's like a weight lifted off your shoulders. And like specifically, I feel like when you like someone, that's a compliment. Like being scared of rejection when you tell somebody that you like them, I think says more about that person than it does you. Because if they're rude to you just because you say that you like them, then they're a specific kind of person that you don't need in your life. A lot of times, like, we hype ourselves up, and you know, based on past experiences, because you know, growing up in high school, kids are mean, so everybody probably experiences some pretty bad rejection. And I think it makes us so much more cautious and scared to reach out and make connections to people who would probably be open to it, but because of our past experience, we just don't want to be put back in that situation. Like, and maybe even subconsciously we make those changes without knowing. So I think that when we approach that, we have to be able to realize, like, you know, for me, if someone told me that they liked me and they like said that to me, I always was flattered. I always was just like, you like me? Wow, like, that's so cool. Like, you know, and I'm oblivious, so I didn't know. I never knew. So when people would tell me, I would be like, that's so crazy because I didn't know, but like, thank you. You know, like you feel kind of honored. So like, you know, take that and do with that what you will. People usually will feel honored when you tell them that you like them, you know, especially if it's genuine. If you genuinely like them, like you like them as a human, you like them as a person, then there's no reason why they would be rude to you. And if they are rude to you, then that lets you know, then you just dodged the bullet. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like stuff like that. Like, don't be scared of that. Don't be scared to let people know how you feel. And then on the other side of it, don't be scared to let people know, like, hey, you know, that made me upset, because people aren't mind readers. So there's no possible way someone's gonna know truly what made you upset unless you tell them. And that's why it's so important for you to know, like, hey, like, I have issues with the kitchen counter being left dirty. Can you please remember to wipe it down after you cook or something? You know, like being able to express why you're upset or why something irritated you before it boils over to a fight. You have to be able to have those conversations. And I know a lot of people are scared of confrontation. It's also something I'm working on. But I find every single time I just muster up the courage and I speak my truth and I say what I want to say, I always feel so much better about my decision to communicate that. And literally, I'd say 8 times out of 10, probably the changes are happening and they're being made. And I appreciate that. And the effort, just even seeing the effort helps a lot with me not feeling like irritated or annoyed at whatever, like, this is talking about like house stuff, like with roommates and stuff like that. But whatever it is, like it really helps because you can see when people put in that effort, and then it reconfirms to me like, oh wow, like you care about what I think, you care about what I said, you took it into consideration and you made changes. Like I want to show up that way for you even more now, you know? So I think it's really just being able to be vulnerable really does get you into a better place. And yes, sometimes, you know, that's the other part of it. People do hurt you. You bear somebody your heart. You're like, hey, I really like you. Here's my heart. And they crush it and they stomp it on the ground, you know? and then you're like, oh my gosh, my heart. And you like pick it up and you put it in a box. And now instead of it just being in like a easily accessible bag, you put it in like a chain cage under the ocean with like multiple padlock. Like it's ridiculous, you know, like you lock it down. And I think like then people have to try so hard to get there. And a lot of people don't. So then you end up feeling lonely and lacking intimacy in your relationship. So, you know, just, you know, going forward in your guys' day and as your week progresses, if you start to notice like you guys are having like really unhealthy talk to yourself, like you're talking down, well, I can't do that. Start questioning those things, because it's like, well, why? Don't be scared. Just do it, you know? So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am going to continue crocheting because I ended up talking and not crocheting. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. I hope you guys take care of yourself. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.